Does the freedom of speech and thought truly exist in academia, or is it an idealized notion that withers under the weight of orthodoxy? Delving into the annals of academia reveals a disheartening trend of intellectual persecution, particularly of those who dare to question the prevailing Darwinian consensus and advocate for intelligent design. Take the case of Richard Sternberg, an evolutionary biologist who faced severe professional backlash for publishing a paper supportive of intelligent design in a scientific journal. Sternberg's credentials were questioned, his professional reputation smeared, and he was unjustly pushed out of his position at the Smithsonian's National Museum of Natural History, all for the crime of exploring unconventional perspectives. Guillermo Gonzalez, an astronomer, faced a similar fate. Despite his significant contributions to his field, including the discovery of 2 new planets, Gonzalez was denied tenure at Iowa State University. The denial appeared to be linked not to his academic achievements, but to his open support for intelligent design. Caroline Crocker, a biologist with impeccable qualifications, was yet another victim of this intellectual witch hunt. After merely mentioning intelligent design as an alternative theory in her cell biology class at George Mason University, Crocker found herself barred from teaching and effectively blacklisted in academic circles. These stories are but a few in a chilling pattern of intellectual suppression. Dr. James Tour of Rice University, considered one of the top 10 leading synthetic chemists in the world, stated, "In the last few years, I have seen a saddening progression at several institutions. I have witnessed unfair treatment upon scientists that do not accept macroevolutionary arguments, and for their having signed the above-referenced statement regarding the examination of Darwinism, when the power holders permit no contrary discussion, can a vibrant academy be maintained?" Dr. Tour had signed Discovery's scientific dissent from Darwinism list. The list of dissenters who questioned Darwinian orthodoxy started at 100, then grew to 800. At that point, the Discovery Institute stopped inviting people to sign it because their names on the list were used by Darwinists to persecute them professionally. Some lost their jobs. As well, the Slaughter of Dissidents trilogy by Dr. Jerry Bergman documents over 100 cases of discrimination handed out to individuals, 60 of whom were PhDs, who dared to challenge Darwinian concepts within many venues of science and academia. As Dr. Bergman documents, this type of discrimination is not rare by any means in America, but has been constantly on the rise for decades. It represents nothing less than the brutal violation of freedom of speech, thought, and religious freedom. Michael Egnor, a neurosurgeon and professor and advocate for intelligent design, stated, "I've gotten calls to my department in my university demanding that I be fired. That's a fairly frequent thing. I was called a couple of years ago by the campus police that there was a death threat against me and they wanted to protect me." So this kind of stuff goes on, and some of these people who oppose intelligent design are vicious. The stories underscore the harsh reality of an academia where dissenting voices are not welcomed, but rather stifled and punished. Such irrational behavior by Darwinists is sure sign that we are not dealing with a normal science where vigorous debate is routine, even encouraged, but that we are instead dealing with a dogmatic religion that tries to silence all dissent. As David Gelernter, professor of computer science at Yale University, stated, "You take your life in your hands to challenge it, Darwinism, intellectually. They will destroy you if you challenge it. What I have seen in their behavior intellectually and at colleges across the West is nothing approaching free speech on this topic. It's a bitter, fundamental, angry, outraged rejection of intelligent design, which comes nowhere near scientific or intellectual discussion. I've seen that happen again and again." Gelernter concluded, "I am attacking their religion and I don't blame them for being all head up. It is a big issue for them. This is not merely about the controversy between evolution and intelligent design, it is about the fundamental principles of academic freedom, the right to question, to challenge, to explore uncharted intellectual territories. When academics are persecuted for their ideas, it is a clear violation of their freedom of speech and thought. It breeds an environment of fear and conformity, where innovative ideas are buried under the weight of orthodoxy. In such an environment, can we still speak of a vibrant, forward-thinking academia? The stories of Sternberg, Gonzalez, and Crocker, as well as numerous others, remind us of the importance of upholding these freedoms, of defending the right to disagree, to question, to think differently. They serve as a stark warning of the dangers of intellectual complacency and the cost of silence. In conclusion, freedom of speech and thought are not mere ideals to be paid lip service to. They are the very bedrock of academia, the engines that drive intellectual progress. Without them, academia risks becoming a stagnant pool of unchallenged ideas, devoid of innovation and progress. Protecting these freedoms, therefore, is not just a moral imperative, but a necessity for the continued advancement of knowledge. The future of academia, and indeed of our collective intellectual growth, depends on it.